Lecture 3, Part 2, Buddhism and War. As we look deeply into Buddhism and see that activism is part of the very fabric of Buddha Dharma, that right Buddhism is right activism, it must be balanced with the absolute limitation that one's efforts be nonviolent. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha is said to have taught one should conquer anger with kindness, the wicked with goodness, the miserly with liberality, and the liar with truth. Whosoever were to conquer in battle 1,000 times 1,000 men, and another were to conquer one, that is oneself, he indeed is the greatest victor in battle. There can be no clearer teaching from the Buddha on the subject of how to deal with a violent attacker than the story of Angulimala. A fearsome thief, adorned by a necklace of fingers, was robbing and killing hundreds, causing the depopulation of whole villages and resisting even the king's army. In spite of many pleas and warnings, the Buddha entered Angulimala's territory alone and was soon confronted by him. Angulimala was stunned to see the Buddha continuing to walk, even after being ordered to stop. "I have stopped," said the Buddha. "It is you that has not stopped." Puzzled by this response, since he was not moving while the Buddha still was, Angulimala demanded an explanation. What follows is an incredible exchange, where the Buddha conveys how hard it is to restrain oneself, and offers Angulimala an opportunity to talk about his pain. He was deeply moved by the compassion shown him, and realized the error of his ways. Buddha assured him it was not too late, and Angulimala immediately joined the order. Over the years that followed, Angulimala became one of the most respected teachers of the Buddha Dhamma. Of course, these are goals, and few can say they have fully conquered themselves or fearlessly faced down a mass murderer. But there should be no confusion about what is expected from serious students of the Buddha's teachings. Not only is there the obligation to refrain from violence, even in the face of an attacker, but there is also the obligation to relieve suffering in any way that you can. It is this act of relieving suffering that is at the core of all Buddhist activism. There is a common but mistaken notion, particularly in the West, that Buddhist practice is just meditation. The misunderstandings continue with the term Buddhist monk. Monk, from the Greek monos, or alone, is actually a Christian term for religious ascetics who practice their faith in isolation. But bhikkhu, the Buddhist term for monk, translates literally as beggar. Bhikkhus were required to instruct the householders in the Dharma, and in turn relied on them for food. From the time of the Buddha, bhikkhus were active in the world, including government and society, as teachers and spiritual models. One of the most prominent examples of Buddhist peace activism is Thich Nhat Hanh, who worked for reconciliation between North and South Vietnam during the war. He combined traditional meditative practices with active, non-violent civil disobedience, established a center of Buddhist studies in Saigon, a peace magazine, and a school for social service, which rebuilt destroyed villages. He traveled in America, urging an end to the war, and became the Buddhist representative to the Paris peace talks that led to the accords between North Vietnam and the United States. After the war, he organized rescue missions to save Vietnamese boat people from sea pirates and cruel government officials who refused to let them land. Martin Luther King nominated him for a Nobel Peace Prize for his peace activism. Today, there are many examples of Buddhist peace activists who balance non-violent confrontation with softer methods of persuasion, compromise, meditation, and mindful breathing. These include Aung San Suu Kyi of Burma, Japanese monk Jusai Terasawa, A.T. Ariyaratne's Sarvavada movement in Sri Lanka, and of course the Dalai Lama. Bearing witness to violence, past or present, is also activism, as evidenced by Roshi Bernie Glassman of Zen Peacemakers, who brings groups to Auschwitz every year. Even refraining from violent speech at home with loved ones is Buddhist peace activism.